welcome to a prenatal stretch and mobility session with me, Jenny Francis-Townson. Now, I am in trimester 2, I am 22 weeks pregnant, and I know that throughout the pregnancy journey we can get really tight with different aches and pains, and that changes daily. And I know the importance of not only exercise, but also regular stretching. So I am going to take you through a stretch mobility sequence that we can just do together in about 10 minutes, guys. So whenever you're ready, I want you to come down to the mat. We're going to start on all fours. So we're going to make sure our shoulders are stacked over our wrists. We're going to root through those hands, just kind of wiggle about a bit here. We're going to take some cat-cows. So here, we're going to push the floor away, drop the head, suck the belly in, and push the hips down to the floor. And then we're going to just reverse that nice and slowly, bringing the head up, dropping the chest and belly to the floor, bringing the bum up. Now, how high you do this will depend on what feels good for you. We're going to reverse it again. Drop the head, dome the shoulders, really push that floor away as you drop your bum, suck your belly in. And again, we're going to reverse that, come up to top. Take a deep breath. And one last time, you can push that floor away. Drop the head, drop the bum, suck the belly in tight. And reverse it for the very last time. So bring your head up, let those shoulder blades squeeze together. Take that nice deep breath. Good, guys. From here, we're going to just bring our toes together and bring our knees quite wide. Now, if you've got a mat, I would say take your knees as wide as the mat and sit your hips back. Nice and slowly, we're going to keep our bum back on those heels and we're going to walk the hands forward. Now, we're not going to lead with our head here. We're going to sit the bum back. We're going to lead with our chest to the floor, nice and low. Now, again, depending on the size of your bum, I'm in trimester 2. If you're in trimester 3, this is completely safe, but you won't be able to go as deep because you'll obviously have a bigger bump than me. So just find wherever's good for you, come down, and then we're going to pull up, push into our knees and shoot the hips forward. Good, hold it here. Then we're going to come back. Sit the weight back into the heels. Now if this feels good for you, you can go deeper. You can just work through this at your own pace now. So if you want to hold for a bit longer at the top or the bottom, you can. Take some nice deep breaths as you move through this stretch. Pushing back. Take a nice deep breath at the top or bottom of each move and then shoot the hips forward. Bring the head up at the top. I'm going to go for one more here, sitting the weight back into my heels. Dropping the chest. And then come back to center. Bring your hands in. Bring your knees in. Give yourself a little wiggle. We're going to come down to a cross-legged position. So depending on the size of your bum, put across your legs and sort of wiggle about a bit to make sure you're nice and comfortable. Okay, from here, we're going to rest one hand on our knee. We're going to bring our hand up above our body. And we're just going to lean and stretch over to one side. Beautiful. Now you can have your hand wherever feels good, in front of you, on bum, on your legs. You just might feel some stiffness, but it's going to loosen off all down the side of the body here. Come back to center, really exaggerate that movement. And we're going to bring ourselves up and over to the other side. Reaching nice. Good. Now we do quite often think that we feel most of it in our lower body when we're pregnant. Bring it back to center, we're going to do one more each side. But actually our upper body really does stiffen up and we can really lean forward quite a lot and kind of round our shoulders in pregnancy. So it's good to get a nice stretch through the whole body. And this can often offset some of the pain we feel in our lower body. Back to center, last time other side. Again, hold bump or hold leg, whichever feels good for you. Back to center. We're going to uncross those legs nice and slowly. Come back to all fours. We're going to bring our legs back a little bit and we're going to step one leg nice and wide. Keeping our arms back knee on the floor, we're going to come up. Find your balance here. From here, we're going to place our hands on the small of our back. Reach forward with our lunge. We're going to sit the weight forward there until it feels good. Hands behind, so we're just going to lean back slightly. So our hands are going to rest on top of our glutes, chest up, head up, sitting forward in that lunge. Again, then we're just going to let go of that stretch, kind of come back up. And again, we're going to do the same. So we're going to lean forward into that lunge, lean back into the chest. So we're constantly kind of moving through this mobility series. So this is kind of like stretching with a little bit of movement. Push back, come back to the top, take a deep breath. And last time, sit forward into that lunge. Chest up. Beautiful. Feel that stretch in your hips. Lower back. Come back to the top. Plant the hands down. We're going to step back. I'm just going to take a little wiggle. I'm going to do the same thing. So step 1 foot wide. Root through that back knee. Come up to that lunge. Hands in the small of the back. Push forward into that lunge. Push the chest forward and sit down into that lunge. Now you can either have the back toes tucked or untucked, again, whatever feels good for you. It's all about kind of feeling what is working for you today. Then just come back to the top, loosen that one off. And we're going to push down again, same thing, sitting forward, chest up, pushing those shoulder blades together. Use this as a nice breather, fill those lungs with oxygen, come back to the top, shake it off a little bit. Last one, sit forward. Push the weight forward into those hips and sit the weight back into the shoulders. Really squeeze those shoulders back. Good, guys. Come back to the top. Again, we're going to come down to all fours. I want you to come back into a seated position. So from here, we're going to straighten one leg. We're going to cross the other leg on top. Now, depending on the size of your bump, you can put this leg wherever feels good for you. So you can have it underneath your knee or in front of your knee or even really, really close up to you, depending on your flexibility and what feels good. All of us are going to be so different. So we're going to root the side of the foot there. We're going to sit up nice and tall and we're just going to lean forward over this leg. Now again, depending on where your bump is at or how you're feeling today will depend on how far forward you come. But what I don't want you to do is flop forward over your bump. Shoulders back, push that knee down to the side and lean forward. Now, if it's helpful here, you can increase the stretch by pushing down on that knee and leaning forward. So you should feel this in your glute and the back of your leg. It's a really good one to kind of open up the hip joints and it can really alleviate some of that pressure we feel in our lower back and our hips. And come back to the top. Shake it off. I'm going to roll those shoulders back, reset and come forward again. Now we can push into that knee. Just don't round the shoulders too much here. Come back to the top, shake it off. We're going to go for one last time here. Push into that knee, lean forward. Breathe. And back to top, swap it over. So we're going to slowly let go of that leg. Other one comes over. Again, depending on where it feels good for you, we're going to place that foot on the side. Chest up, push into that knee or both hands forward. Don't round through the shoulder, we're just going to lean forward over that stretch. Really feel this one more on this side. Good, come back to the top, shake it off, reset, come in, lean forward. Now you might feel that each time you can go that little bit further forward, that's normal. That's why we do it like this. Come back to the top, reset, shake it off. And the last time we're going to come forward. Good. And back to top. Let go of those, just give those legs a little shake for me. Now we're going to come onto our backs. Now there's a lot of us that think we can't lie on our backs at all while we're pregnant. We can absolutely do it for a little amount of time. So from here, we're going to lift our knees up and we're going to bring both arms wide. So we're going to have both arms wide here, squeeze the knees together. Now, if you've got a smaller bump, your knees will be here. If you need to make room for bump, your knees are further down. All right, so make room accordingly. We're going to drop both knees down to one side and try and kind of force both shoulders to the floor. Then we're going to bring them back to centre and drop down to the opposite side. So we're getting movement here and it's totally safe to be on our backs for a little amount of time. Come back to centre. As I said, if you need to make more room for bump, your knees are not as close into your chest, you will know how that feels. Back to centre. So keep moving through this. We're going to do a couple more again. Just keep that movement, that's what's really good. We quite often think we've got to be still when we're stretching, not at all. There's mobility in stretching, so it's getting the blood moving through those joints whilst also stretching the muscles. Let's keep going through these. Breathe. Back to centre. Okay, we're going to shake off those legs. We're going to come slowly up to our feet. So when we're pregnant, we don't want to rush standing. So make sure we come up to standing nice and slowly. Whew. Shake it off a little bit. We're going to do some standing stretches. Now, we quite often feel sort of pain in our lower backs. because our sides and our hips are really tight. So we're going to roll our shoulders back and down, legs kind of much wider than shoulder to hip width apart, and we're going to just drop down to one side. Now I don't want you to lean too far forward or back with this, I want it to be quite central, but just lean until you get to that point where you can really feel the side stretch around this area, whatever feels good. I'm just going to hold it here. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Slowly return to standing. We're going to do the same on the other side. So again, keep that body upright, then lean to the side as if we're kind of fitting into a toaster. Perfect. You should really feel the stretch alleviating all around here, which is where we can hold a lot of tension when we're pregnant. Back to the top, I'm going to do the same thing again. So reach down and guide yourself. Don't rush this, just find that point where you're really feeling that stretch and hold it there. Take a few nice deep breaths as you really kind of pull into that stretch. Back to center with control. Last time, other side, all the way down. Moving through these stretches. Controlled movements, so good for us. Kind of enjoy this. This is like a beautiful, enjoyable routine. Back to center. We're going to finish with a few more standing stretches. Now we're going to step back, reach forward, and then come back to center. Swap it over other side. So we step back, reach forward. We're going to push that back heel to the floor. I'll do it from the side for you as well. Just keep moving through this. So we step back, reach forward, come back to standing. Step back, reach forward, and come in. Now you can hold these for longer if you want. I'm going to keep them moving. So kind of leaning forward, bringing that back heel down to get the nice stretch on the backs of the legs. Step back, reach forward. So again, we're stretching with movement. Back, reach forward. And again, back, reach forward. I'm going to do one more on either side. Step back, reach forward. Last time. Step back, reach forward. We're going to shake that off. We're going to open up the hips now. Now, you've got an option to hold onto a chair or the wall or something here. We're just going to bring some mobility and blood flow into our hips. So we're going to bring the knee up, round, and place the foot down behind us. And then we're going to bring it all the way up and back. If you've got your balance, you do not need to hold on to anything. But feel free to hold onto a wall or a chair. It does not impact this mobility move. So again, we're kind of just creating that bit of space for our hips. Getting that blood moving around this joint when we've got so much change going on. So stay on the same side, bring it all the way up and in. Perfect, ladies, all the way round and down. Back up and in. Round and down. We're going to have one more on this side before we change. Round and down. Back up and in. Shake it off a little bit. We're going to even it out. If you need to hold on to something this side, feel free. If not, you can just stand, bring it round and down. It's totally normal if you're losing your balance, because in pregnancy, our balance is always a little bit dubious. So it's not shameful to need to hold on to something. Just try not to rush these. You can have your hand on your hip, both out to the side. What feels good for you. Bring it in and out. Try and control that pace, don't rush it. Last time, up and round. All the way. We're going to go to our last stretch now, so just shake off the body. We're going to bring one foot in front of the other, both hands to centre. We're going to open up our chest, really push your shoulder blades together. This is a stretch. So squeeze the shoulder blades, push that chest forward, take a nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we bring our hands together, we interlace the fingers, we pull ourselves forward, we drop the head, and breathe out, hold it here. And then slowly do the same thing again. Open up that chest, bring the shoulder blades together, deep breath. Reach forward, interlace the fingers, drop the head. Really pull yourself forward with those hands. Last time, unlock those fingers. Bring yourself back to center, then open up the chest. Deep breath in. And last time, bring those hands together, interlace the fingers, drop the head, pull yourself forward. Shake it off. I just want you to sway to the side and side. Good, last time. To the side, shake it all off, let all that tension go. Ladies, I really hope you enjoyed that. This is something you can play over and over again. You could do that back to back, you can add it to the end of your workout, do it at the end of your day in the morning. Just doing these things regularly will really help to alleviate those aches and pains that you get. I really hope you enjoyed that. Have a wonderful day.